This rehearsal footage may be released as a DVD, a chance for the promoter to recoup millions lost in ticket refunds. Meanwhile, the singer's family and fans are looking forward to one last chance to commemorate the ultimate performer.
Michael Jackson, they're rehearsing for his gigs that were never to be at the O2. A lot of people were sceptical as to whether he could do 50 dates at the O2.
Well, I was one of them, but I suppose we shouldn't talk too much about that now, and rather talk about what's going to happen now. We're going to see Smokey Robinson, who will precede Mariah Carey, and Smokey is going to be reading the messages of condolence from dignitaries across the world. If you're wondering who the gospel choir is, that will be the Andrae Crouch Choir, and they have won 8 Grammy Awards, and they will be performing on Man in the Mirror.
They do perform on that track anyway, don't
That's
they?
right, so it's appropriate.
And some of Motown's most famous sons and daughters will be there as well. Stevie Wonder.
Yes, and I must think this is a very emotional time for him because, of course, he was the other Motown child star. Michael had his first #1 when he was 11, and Stevie when he was 13. We're due to see Smokey Robinson.
Okay, let's join the Michael Jackson Memorial Service inside the Staples Center.
Thank you. I'm trying to find closure. I want you to know that even though I am not there at the Staples Center, I am there in my heart. I've decided to pause and be silent. This feels right for me. Michael was a personal love of mine, a treasured part of my world, part of the fabric of my life, in a way that I can't seem to find words to express. Michael wanted me to be there for his children, and I will be there if they ever need me. I hope today brings closure for all those who loved him. Thank you, Catherine, for sharing your son with the world and with me. I send my love and condolences to the Jackson family. Diana Ross. Dear Jackson family, it is with great sadness that we learned of the untimely death of Michael Jackson. Michael became close to us after he started visiting and performing in South Africa regularly. We grew fond of him, and he became a close member of our family. We had great admiration for his talent and that he was able to triumph over tragedy on so many occasions in his life. Michael was a giant and a legend in the music industry, and we mourn with the millions of fans worldwide. We also mourn with his family and his friends over the loss of our dear friend. He will be missed, and memories about him cherished for a very long time. My wife and I, our family, our friends, send you our condolences during this time of mourning. Be strong. Nelson Mandela.
Two beautiful messages, Diana Ross and Nelson Mandela.
And we're awaiting the choir and the appearance eventually of Mariah Carey. Smokey Robinson looked really well.
Yes, he dressed up well. Diana Ross, also of that generation who feels this is too emotional and too personal to attend.
Quincy Jones is the other non-attendee.
And Elizabeth Taylor. Just goes to show how the different generations respond differently.
Trevor, your mic is open. Just so you know, that obviously this has been organised and
there's been a hold-up already. I mean, this is organised in such a short space of time. We're waiting for the Andrae Crouch Choir to emerge on stage.
Trevor, you and I have been doing this for so long. We know that live gigs, and this is part gig, part memorial service, take time, get people on and off stage, have the equipment changes. We expect that during the service there will be some delays.
The moment I heard about it, I knew it was going to be a very ambitious thing to beam this around the world live, so I do expect 1 or 2 hold-ups, but I'm sure it'd be worthwhile. Andrae Crouch's choir perform on Man in the Mirror, the pop hit, so it'd be interesting to see their rendition, or hear their rendition tonight.
It's also fascinating how that song itself has become the biggest of the posthumous hits. It was not such a huge hit in life. As a matter of fact, it didn't even make the British top 20. But it was #1 for a couple of days on the American iTunes, and it was #2 in the British chart this week. And it has become the one that people have turned to because of its inspirational qualities. And they think it sums up Michael in a way which is between a ballad and a dance song.
Well, the fans have responded and made it the biggest record in the UK of all of his re-release singles. What about some other people you're looking forward to seeing tonight?
Well, I am wondering how John Mayer is going to fit into this. John Mayer played the guitar part on the Fall Out Boy cover of Beat It. That was the part played famously by Eddie Van Halen. Now, is he going to do Beat It? I can't imagine that Beat It would be performed in a memorial service.
Now, I've just been told, Paul, that this is actually a planned moment of silence for people in the arena as a mark of respect, so that's why we have this.
Let's be silent.
Trevor, I ask these.
Paul, what about people like Reverend Al Sharpton and some of the characters that are coming out speaking on behalf of the family?
You use the word character, and I think with reference to the Reverend Al Sharpton, he certainly qualifies. For our viewers, he's best known as one of last year's Democratic presidential candidates. He was one of those ones taking part in the debates. He didn't make the final cut, but he has positioned himself as a national figure, having started in the New York area in the 1980s with a controversial civil rights case. But he has positioned himself, like Jesse Jackson before him, as friend of the stars and spokesman for civil rights. And he has been close to the family in preparing for these days after Michael's death. So we'll very interestingly wait to see if he reads a religious tract or if he does something else. Al Sharpton was parodied in the film Bonfire of the Vanities.
Well, 2 people that we'll be looking forward to hearing from are 2 people that have a civil rights legacy, Martin Luther King III and Bernice A. King.
Just hear that the family are taking their seats.
And the applause now is because the family are taking their seats. You and I have heard Bernice King speak before. She is very eloquent, and I'm sure she will be tonight. Martin Luther King III, of course, the male descendant of the line, and they're both due to speak.
Berry Gordy also is somebody I'm looking forward to, a man who gave the foundation for the Jackson 5 and Michael's career.
Absolutely. Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown, who gave us all the great Detroit stars, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross. Oh, and now the full view suggests the moment of silence is over. The applause begins. We wait to see what happens. We will be hearing from Berry Gordy later, and another one of his artists, Lionel Richie. For Berry Gordy, so emotional, he is now in his late 70s. He said, "I can't imagine the world without Michael in it."
Most of these veteran Motown acts and someone like Berry Gordy could never imagine Michael Jackson going before them, which is also quite a shock to them. Quincy Jones famously said that he couldn't attend because he can't imagine that Michael's gone.
And the tragedy for Catherine, the mother, because it is always unbearable when your son predeceases you. But Barry, I'm sure, can just close his eyes